Salute, salute, salute. The streets are buzzing. What's good, Knicks Nation? The Knicks go down tonight, took a L at MSG for some hot shooting from the Boston Celtics. Some horrible defense played tonight. A lot to talk about. We're going to chop it up. The chat's going to be on fire. I can just feel it. And a lot of things to talk about tonight. It was a good offensive performance, but a horrible defensive performance tonight. The Celtics broke their franchise shooting record, and they were on fire. Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown. There was no stopping them tonight. There was some great offensive performances from some Knicks, which we'll talk about. We missed Mitchell Robinson tonight, missed Quentin Grimes, but Brunson, Randle, and Reddish played solid games for the Knicks. But the Knicks went down in the end to a title contender, the Boston Celtics. They were playing no games tonight. They could not miss. It was absolutely horrible to see being left wide open. Some of them were just contested shots, which were just going down because they were so damn hot from getting wide open looks. But yeah, very, very frustrating night. The Knicks hung tough with the Boston Celtics for most of the game still, which is a credit offensively. Like I said tonight, offensively, probably the Knicks' best game, 118 points. But to give up 133 tonight was absolutely eye-opening and eyesore disgusting as well. Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, I mean, they lick their lips when they come into MSG, it seems. Yeah, tonight there was no stopping them. Horrible rotations, being left wide open, missed rebound opportunities, fouling as well. The Knicks just could not contain them. It was a classic case tonight, title contender versus a play-in contender right at this point in time, which is a damn shame because, like I said, it was probably the Knicks' best offensive performance tonight. There were some heroes offensively, which we'll talk about tonight. We'll give out grades. We'll look ahead to the tough stretch coming up. The Knicks are going to be hitting the road soon as well. But yeah, definitely a team effort, a team loss tonight on the defensive end. And we'll talk about it. I've got some thoughts about, how I think this team needs to improve defensively with just effort as well. We're not seeing that grittiness, that toughness, to fight over screens and things like that. We're just not seeing that like we've been seeing or what we would be used to, from a Tom Thibodeau coach team, fam. To put up 118 points, that should be enough to win at home. But of course, the Boston Celtics broke their franchise three-point shooting record. Man, Doogie Howser was going off tonight on us in the Garden. But I can't wait to get the thoughts of the chat. It's going to be buzzing as well. Smash that like button. And we're here. We're here to chop it up. Knicks Nation. We all go through this together. We talk about it. And the Knicks are only one game below 500 as well. We've got to put this loss in the rearview mirror as well. Get back to 500. Get back to winning ways. But lots of things to clean up. But a lot of things that I did like tonight as well. Obviously, the Knicks were showing different looks. Mitchell Robinson out. Quentin Grimes out. We'll talk about him. Gets back in for one damn game and then he's out with a foot injury again. So I mean, I'm at the point now where I'm just like, man, just take time off and heal with that thing. They clearly brought him back, soon. I'm no medical expert, but I mean, we can't get consistency bringing a dude back for a game and then his foot sore again as well. So just sit out, man. Take some time, heal up, and get to a point where you can play consistent minutes, without getting that foot sore again with that situation. Cam Reddish stepped up admirably tonight. The Knicks obviously went small with Hartenstein without Mitch as well, but there's plenty to look at tonight, in a clear sample size because we're going to have to play with these kind of lineups for a minute. Mitch is going to be out for at least 7 to 10 days, reevaluated in 7 to 10 days. And so we're going to have to make do with this lineup as well. And there were some good things I saw as well. Shots just didn't drop for us early in the game. We were sort of playing from behind, and we just couldn't get stops. Could not get stops all night. That was our downfall, basically. Like I said, 118 points for us should be more than enough to win the game. But first and foremost, I always pay credit to the opponent as well. We got to keep that in mind tonight when we're chopping this thing up. The Boston Celtics are the creme de la creme, title contenders, bringing Malcolm Brogdon off the bench. They're a great lineup, a great team. Well, and they're missing some pieces as well. So, Boston are a great team. We were definitely up against the best, tonight. So, with that in mind, we hung with them as well, but we got to measure ourselves up against the best, to get better. And, tonight we fell short defensively, horrible rotations all around as well. We were trading buckets, all night long as well. Yep, salute to the chat. J Dragon, Dirty Dancer, Tariq, salute fam. Hope you guys are well. Well, that's a tap. Yep, too wide open. Yep, absolutely. That was the tail of the tape pretty much tonight. Like I said, when they see the ball, go through the bucket the way they do, even the contested shots started going in as well. And then, the foul calls and all of that situation started to just lump on top of our heads, tonight. But yeah, some good performances. We'll give out some grades tonight because definitely a lot of players tried their best offensively. Another great performance from Jalen, an unselfish performance from Julius. RJ Barrett scored well again, got it going. Well, Cam Reddish played fairly well, and I think Derek Rose's best performance of the season tonight. Obi not so great, was okay tonight, but Emmanuel quickly not so good tonight as well. Emmanuel sat most of the game as well, which is very, very, very interesting as well. And yeah, we'll be getting into it. The chat salute. But yeah, obviously, firstly, we're going to talk about the Mitch and the Grime situation. Mitchell Robinson was missed tonight defensively. How much did he have a part to play in our lack of D tonight? I think he had a pretty big part to play. Obviously, him patrolling the paint gives us that reassurance, the dribble drive backup as well. But our rotations were a step slow tonight, and you can't be any bit slow against the Boston Celtics. They don't need no excuse. They don't need a single second of breathing room to get the 3-point shot up. Jalen Brown feels really comfortable at MSG now. It's like the last 4 or 5 games, he's had a really hot shooting night. Jason Tatum as well. These players get up for these big games, at MSG. And it's a stars league. Absolutely. The Knicks didn't have that star tonight. Jalen Brunson gave his best impression of that to will the Knicks along, and some other good performances from other Knicks, but we just don't have a Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, those kind of guys. And like I said, they're built to be a contender, man. Bringing Malcolm Brogdon off the bench, they're strong right now. Robert Williams out. Well, they've got depth, so yeah, we're definitely measured up against the best tonight. We fell short. We hung in there for most of the game. A couple of back-breaking threes. I mean, our rotation seemed to get worse as the game went along. Those couple of last minutes, leaving it wide open, just got worse and worse and worse. Right? Yep. Tariq says the Knicks competed every game they've played in. Right? Yep. Shortcomings, though. I think yes, schematically, effort. JT salute. What's good, fam? Buzzer beater, too many turnovers, poor 3-point D, and little interior D as well. Yep. May 4th in the house, salute. Obi Randle lineup is the dumbest. Who thought of this would be a good idea? They definitely need to keep trying it. Tonight it just didn't work. But it's something that the Knicks got to experiment with, with their lineups and injuries right now. It's going to have to be a situation where we're going to have to play different lineups now, I think. Salute, cash out. What's good? But what I want to say is, offensively, again, one of the Knicks' best performances tonight, and we'll pull up the box score in a minute, give out grades, all of that. But the Knicks, hit timely shots. It was trading buckets. It was just inability to get stops tonight, leaving wide open shooters. And it happens sometimes in this league. I've seen Boston games where they've shot lights out like they did tonight, and then they went cold in the second half. It's happened before, but tonight wasn't that night. The Boston Celtics did not go cold at all. They just kept shooting all night long, and a credit to them. They've got, right from through their roster, they've got dudes that can hit the shots. Hauser, Grant Williams. I mean, just dudes that Noah Vonleh. I mean, Vonleh hitting that three in the corner left wide open as well. The Knicks are just a step slow defensively. However, the Knicks started the game pretty solid, starting from the beginning. Cam Reddish getting that starting look as well. I thought Cam Reddish was solid, very solid again tonight defensively. Caused some disruptions on sort of one-to-one, man-to-man D. Most of the Boston three-point looks got open because of inability to get around the screen. Boston set amazing screens. All Tatum and Brown need is a split second to fire up. If you go under that screen, it's toast, basically. And that's exactly what happened. And then there was obviously a couple of really horrible closeouts, rotations as well. The Knicks were just running around, and they ran our legs out tonight with that situation. And of course, putting in all that effort offensively as well, the Knicks, couldn't keep it up, couldn't rotate fast enough, as the night progressed, basically. But what was it, a 4 to 5 point game, 3 point game with like 5 minutes left, 6 minutes left? There were some critical moments in the fourth quarter. Derrick Rose, we got a couple of stops. We led the break. I thought that pull-up three that Derrick Rose missed was a critical point of the game. I think that was like 3-4 point margin at that point. Derrick Rose fired up, missed the shot. It was early in the shot clock. It was an adrenaline shot. And, the Knicks just tried to make their run and get back level, but they just couldn't, tonight. And then Boston hit a couple of timely shots, and that was the ball game. Right? Salute chat. Appreciate you all rocking out. We're definitely going to shout you all out as well. Respect everyone's opinions here, even if we agree or we don't agree. We're here to get our thoughts out of here as well, and appreciate you all as well. It's frustrating on nights like this, but that's why we're here to talk about it, chop things up. But first, again, I pay credit to the opponent. They're a title contender. The Knicks are not right now, so we're measuring ourselves up against the best tonight, and we fell short. And we're one game below 500. It's still a very, very early part of the season, 9 games in. The Knicks are now 4-5 as well. Some winnable games coming up, and then we hit the road, a tough road trip as well. But I'm not changing no projections or opinions on this season yet. I still think the Knicks are going to be around a 500 team. Well, we're just going to have to ride these nights like this, nights it's going to be popping and nights it's not going to be so hot, right? So salute to the chat. Appreciate you. Dirty says every guy the Celtics played could shoot the three, yet someone named Hauser scored 20 on us. Yeah, respect to him, respect to Boston. There's some ballers out there in this league. It seems to be a trend, fam. Dudes coming in and they get in a groove early, I would say. Open shots. Imagine yourself playing within a Boston Celtics offense. You're a role player and you get wide open shots. You got to feel good with yourself, with that situation, whether your name's Hauser or whatever your name might be. You get an open looks, you got to feel good about yourself. And that's why I think we see a lot of these kind of players have good games in the Garden tonight, like you did, man. Any NBA player with wide open looks can get in a groove, I was just waiting for them to, to go cold, but it just never happened, man. Just never happened. Yeah, Mitch's impact. I think he definitely would have had an impact tonight, but obviously not on all the closeouts and the rotation. He would have stopped a lot of maybe the dribble drive stuff, but not in the closeouts as well. Cash out. Most of the collapses on the rotations was on Randle. The first 3-point shots was on Randle. Yep, definitely you're right on that. Early in the game, Brown got a couple of wide open looks in the first couple minutes, man. That was some bad rotations as well. Also, some of those situations with Love as well with Cleveland, right? Yep. Buzzer says Mitch would have made a big difference. He could have defended the paint. I agree with that 100%. And he would have allowed the other Knicks to stay at home on their man and denied the three. Yep. Definitely wouldn't have impacted everything, but would have had a pretty big impact. I don't think Boston score 133 with Mitch as well. And of course, a lot of the rebounds as well. Yo, Tariq, what's good? The Celtics were making threes like it was a video game. That's why you get this in the NBA. And I'm not like going crazy tonight. You won't see me really go crazy because if this was like Charlotte going off like this, it'd have me more agitated. But Boston are a title contender. They have stars. They hit shots like that. They get open, they hit shots. And Brown and Tatum, the Knicks don't have players like that at this moment as well. But they can fire up, rise up, and shoot, man. Really, really good. With that said, yeah, and I think the Knicks played a decent game. As horrible defensively as we were, 118 points, traded buckets with a title contender as well. Our talent deficiency came home tonight, and a couple of critical plays down the stretch, in the fourth as well. And of course, we were missing a lot of key players tonight. And what probably got me the most frustrated tonight is the Grimes situation again. Mitch, I know it was a funny incident, hurt his knee again. That happens, but the Quentin Grimes thing. I really want to see this team with Quentin Grimes consistently healthy. I think him and Cam Reddish interchangeable at the wing spot really improves our perimeter defense. And tonight we didn't get the opportunity to see that. If you want to win, you should strive to have shooters at every position who can also D up. Yep, absolutely facts. Dirty Dancer, completely agree with that as well. 5-out shooters, guys that can defend, interchangeable. I mean, their offense looks like a Rolls Royce at times, and we made it look even better at times. Yep. Definitely the perimeter D is an obvious and major issue. We actually got pretty lucky too, fam. There was some wide open shots that they even missed as well. Yep. The biggest thing tonight, getting into that missed opportunities and rotations, a lot of it was not able to get around the screens. They were just setting simple screens. We were going under. We just couldn't get around it. Jalen Brunson did struggle getting around a few screens. And then there was a couple of wide open shots, late closeouts, those kind of rotations as well. But proud of the way we played offensively again. And I'll keep saying that tonight as we'll pull up the box score in a minute. Dudes, some pretty heroic performances. Again, Cam Reddish still feeling his way in. Brunson, he's worth every bit that we're paying him. He was going bucket versus bucket, keeping us in the game as well. And that's what I like to see when our offense is stalling or we need a bucket. He's got to be our go-to guy for this team, in these kind of games, right? The Block Ness monster was needed, and I didn't even need 50 years. Yeah, Block Ness monster, yeah, definitely is a big part of our defense. Tom Thibodeau knows this as well. Yeah, Tom Thibodeau really knows how critical that rim protection is. I love Isaiah, his hustle, that hustle play where he kept the ball alive, got it out to Randle, kicked it back out. Yeah, and Randle got the 3-point play dunk as well. That's the kind of hustle and energy and heart that I love to see from a New York Knick. And I don't feel like we're getting that from all the players at all of the times. If you want to be a team that overachieves above your talent level, all the Knicks players got to give that hustle, heart, and energy all the time. And I feel like this team is lacking a bit of that Tom Thibodeau grittiness as well. That's what I think stopping us from winning a couple of these big games against big teams right now. And we could pour it on against the Orlandos, the Charlottes, Detroits. I hope we continue to win all of those games. These other games, it's tricky. It takes a big step up to beat a Boston, a big step up to beat a Cleveland and Memphis. and all of that. So this team's going to be tested, and I feel like we got to give that 100% effort for 48 minutes. Lay it all out there for this team. I'm proud of Isaiah Hartenstein. He gives us all that hustle and energy as well. I like Cam Reddish's effort tonight. He was hustling, sweating, tired. He was gassed. Like Mike Breen said, when he went to the bench, he was playing really hard tonight as well, was Cam for that wing spot. He senses his chance now. Definitely the door has stayed open for Cam Reddish with Quentin Grimes out, with this foot reoccurring injury as well. Buzzer, salute. CT, much love. Appreciate you. How do you follow the Knicks so well from down under, fam? Yep. It's the passion, fam, for this logo, this team, 30 plus years down here as well. The good thing is, there is a big time difference, but the games are always during the day. They're always during, daylight hours as well. So I got a flexible work arrangement, able to always catch the games on League Pass as well. You get a great League Pass deal internationally, no blackouts. I can watch every single game. Thankfully, rock this orange and blue from wherever I'm in. Hardly ever miss a game, and I love it. For this team, the ups and the downs. We all need to see a championship man in our lifetime. But ready to rock out for this 2022-23 season. Appreciate your support, everyone rocking with us as well. It's going to be fun as we continue to go with this season. But yeah, not too worried. Again, tonight was against a really, really good team. We're not there yet. We can't afford to give them wide open looks like tonight, like we did. There'll be film sessions. There'll be chemistry. There'll be filling out process with this team still. Like there always is. We're early in this season and dudes are playing in different positions. Cam Reddish, just the other day he was situational and tonight he's starting. The other night, Quentin Grimes was situational. He's starting. And we played with Mitchell Robinson the whole season thus far. And tonight we didn't have him. So every night there seems to be an adjustment having to be made. So it's still early in this season and we're still trying to figure things out. Some great things that I saw offensively, like I said tonight. I think Derrick Rose is finally starting to really get in a groove. You guys would have noticed Derrick Rose had some nice plays, drives to the bucket, flashy plays, vintage D Rose that Clyde said at one point. I just thought that pull-up three from D Rose hurt us. We was getting back in that game. We needed some good offensive possessions. But of course, our turnovers hurt us again tonight. For as well as we played offensively, and trading buckets with the best of them, we turned the ball over a lot early in the game. So that really came home to hurt the Knicks as well tonight. We're not a team that can afford to give away too many empty possessions. Right. Let's go, D. Cool. Salute. Appreciate you. Dirty says, I don't think it's a coincidence. RJ looked more efficient the last two games with Mitch out. That's something to watch, definitely. Great point. The drives were so much easier tonight, yeah. And the fact that Boston didn't really have that rim protection either. Damn. Yep, Eddie, appreciate you. Yeah, I could sense Brunson knew it, Derrick Rose knew it. A lot of dudes tried to drive to the cup a lot more tonight as well. I would have loved to see Cam Reddish attack the closeouts a lot more as well. But Brunson was definitely feasting tonight as well. He was another hero again tonight. Been just super solid this season as Jalen Brunson. Our best offensive player. And in a big game tonight, he stood up. Well, he stood up. With that said, he's not the best defender. He struggled, like I said, getting around screens. Did Brunson. That didn't help. That got them some open looks and easier looks, tonight. But yeah, with that said, a lot of the turnovers really hurt the Knicks tonight as well. And, trading buckets. I mean, look, to put the loss in perspective tonight, the Boston Celtics shattered their franchise shooting record, and we were in the game still with 3 minutes to go. That's how good of a game the Knicks played offensively tonight, basically. It took the Celtics to have a franchise night, and they didn't even blow us out as well. So, small victories within the loss tonight. Offensively, things started to click a little bit more. Like I said, with Rose, Hartenstein at the 5, Obi playing a bit more, it opened things up tonight. RJ Barrett started to hit shots, and RJ shot really well from the line. I thought Randle shot really well from the line, and we'll bring out the box score right now, and we'll give out some grades. Yeah, what did you guys think? We all know what we saw defensively tonight. It was disgusting. But obviously the Boston Celtics shot the lights out as well. We couldn't control all of that. A lot of it was open looks, late closeouts, and inability to get around the screens. But I mean, look, offensively, let's give out some grades. Let's look at the numbers tonight. Again, efficient night from Juju Randle. I love the ability to move the rock at certain times. Juju rebounded pretty well. 3 turnovers, not horrible. -8, obviously though, but to score what he scored was an efficient night in 40 minutes tonight. 10 of 19 and 3 of 7 from 3-point land. But what I really liked was hitting all these free throws, 6 of 6 tonight. So yeah, I think Julius tried his heart out tonight. Not really too much folly from Julius outside of the closeouts, defensive lapses as well, which we're used to seeing. But was it your 29 points from Julius? Probably one of his best performances offensively for this season. Well, I'll give Julius Randle a B+ tonight. I'll give him a B+, yeah, because he stayed with it, played within the game as well. I didn't feel like he forced too many isolation plays as well. Obviously, they didn't really have a huge big man to combat, but Julius was in the right positions, for rebounds tonight. Like I said, 5 rebounds, 9 total as well. Julius was thereabouts, hustling on the glass tonight. So, yeah, I'll give Julius a B+ tonight. Big task at hand. Salute. What's good, fam? I appreciate you coming through. Donald, salute. Boston was too good tonight. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. They had a franchise shooting night, and it happens sometimes. The Knicks contributed to some of that. Some of that was their stars, getting hot. And that's what stars do as well. They hit contested shots. Even if we didn't leave them open, they probably would have hit a lot of shots still. Not all of them, obviously, but yeah, they were playing loose tonight. Just a great unit the Celtics have got, man. Malcolm Brogdon coming off your bench. This Hauser guy who they found again, he could shoot the 3 ball. Role player settling in. Noah Vonleh can stretch it as well. They've got a nice unit to the Boston Celtics. So yeah, the Knicks gave it their best shot tonight, and they landed the knockout blow towards the end of the game. Yep. Yep. The closeouts hurt the Knicks absolutely. Tibbs just ignoring the Randle Obi combo is just so typical. Playing small just breaks his brain. Definitely, rebounding suffers. There's no doubt about it. But the Knicks really missed the big man shot blocking. I felt, that was getting into the paint real easy with that situation. So yeah, that was getting in the paint and getting easier looks. Mitch definitely would have stopped that. But to Dirty's point, and the chat's been saying, Mitch's presence not there obviously allowed offensively easier drives. Isaiah does pull his guy out a bit more, and of course Obi paired up with Randle spaces the floor out a lot. So yeah, it's no coincidence that the Knicks scored 118 points on the Celtics defense as well. So we've got to give them credit again offensively tonight. The Boston Celtics defense is still one of the best in the league tonight, and the Knicks got a lot of the Knicks got a lot of offensive weapons from D Rose, clicking off the bench, and all of that as well. So yeah, like I said, guys, chill out in the chat, okay? Otherwise, I'm going to be making some adjustments up in here as well. Everyone's free for their comments. If you don't agree, just let it go as well. But we're up in here chilling out, up in here, okay? And yeah, so I give out Randle a B plus. Again, forward his way with this situation, but yeah, defensively was caught short with his rotations. Now Cam, the man, Reddish as well, probably played his most minutes as a New York Knick, 37 minutes from Cam as well. His defense was needed tonight, definitely in the absence of Quentin Grimes, and of course Cam's role is definitely going to increase now, and he's deserved that. He's earned that. Cam Reddish is going to continue to get his opportunities with this thing, so we can't really blame him. He can't blame no one with this situation. Now, he's been gifted an opportunity. If we put this in perspective, we have 9 games in. We have Evan Fournier relegated to the bench, and we have Cam Reddish out with a foot injury. So you couldn't make this stuff up in terms of Cam Reddish getting a wide open opportunity to be not only the starter but in this rotation as well. And he was a plus tonight in 37 minutes. Cam Reddish was in the positive, well, with just 4 points as well. So that says a lot. A block, a steal, Cam Reddish's length as well. I love to see Cam play this role within this team. And I really like the fact that he didn't force it as well. He didn't force it offensively with this situation. So, yeah, he didn't force it offensively, played his role, moved the rock, and locked down D at times. I don't really blame him for some of the bad rotation closeouts. That was more on some of the other guys. But Cam was scrambling tonight a lot on D, making up for other missed assignments as well. So he was all over the place on the other side of the floor, tonight. Just eye-opening numbers if you look at it again. +4, only 4 points, but 37 minutes as well. So he's got to be gassed, is Cam, with all of this situation. Okay, I'm going to have to make some situational moves here as well. None of this, aggression or chat, chill out with this situation as well. But yeah, Cam with this situation, yeah, I hope he continues to ball out, play well, and we're going to be able to, call upon his defense with this situation. Yeah, so Cam Reddish, looking forward to seeing him fill in while Grimes is out, but I'm really disappointed that Quentin Grimes is going to be missing with this situation, because Grimes is the dude that I really, really wanted and penciled in as a starter, Yeah, with this situation. Yeah, Hartenstein, again, another huge night, 38 minutes, 5 of 5, really, or 6, 5 of 5, efficient night, rebounded really well. Isaiah, 14 rebounds, 1 assist, and a block as well, +7, 10 points. Absolutely played his heart out, did Isaiah. And we've got to give Reddish his grade as well. I missed out on giving Cam his grade. Got to give Cam Reddish a B plus tonight. B plus defensively, was all over it with that. So yeah, well deserved for Cam tonight. And Isaiah performance again, to play that many minutes and fill in. Yeah, for that situation with 14 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, +7, 10 points as well. Got to give Isaiah a solid B with this thing. Yeah. With that situation, a solid B for Isaiah, getting it done, filling in, not the defensive presence we need with Mitch out, but of course we know he gives us a different look He gives this team a really different look, and he's going to continue to start. Mitch 7 to 10 days out. It's going to be a lot to wait on and a lot to look for with this situation. So Isaiah, nice pass again out of the pinch post. I love his passing. That opens up the offense, and of course the Knicks scored 118 points, tonight. So we do get into a situation where our offense looks sharper at times, with Mitch out, and Isaiah on the floor as well, and especially with the small ball stuff with that situation. So yeah, B plus for Randle, B plus for Reddish, and a B for Hartenstein. Now Jalen Brunson as well for the Knicks' best performance tonight offensively. 10 of 17, Mr. Efficiency, man. 2 of 2 from the line. Well, 10 assists from JB. Stand up. Another special performance offensively for JB. 22 points. But yeah, the 10 assists is what I love to see. Every player was better on the floor tonight, because of JB. In that situation, again, I've got to give JB an A tonight. Again, didn't play a lot of minutes, which is good, keeping his minutes down low. It was obviously a back-to-back as well. We have to give that, in perspective. It was a back-to-back tonight as well as Boston was playing back-to-back. Yeah, so Brunson, 10 assists. I mean, how many Knicks players have had double-digit assists already this time, this many games into the season? I really feel like Jalen Brunson's, on his own with that situation. Was it not his first 9 games as a Knick? I think he's had double-digit assists 2 or 3 times already as well, maybe more, including preseason as well. So yeah, the offense flowed tonight. Well, he knows how to get a bucket when we really, really need it. And I'm just super happy with Brunson's performance tonight. Gives you his effort defensively. I struggle getting around some of the screens, but he's a shorter, stocky guy, and he can't get through this every single screen if it's a solid screen because he's a really stocky guy. He's Brunson, but his impact, on this team and offensively, like we would be lost without it. Yeah, we would be lost without it with that situation. So yeah, Brunson gets an A from me tonight as well. So yeah, the starting unit, couple of them in the positive, couple in the negative overall, but a dude staggering the lineup, so it was changing as it went on. But 37 minutes for RJ tonight, efficient, 9 of 15, and 3 of 5 from 3, 6 of 6 from the line. RJ Barrett, stand up. 4 rebounds, 4 assists, minus 14 though. So obviously a lot of the minutes that Brown and Tatum were hot, RJ was on the floor. 27 points as well. RJ's definitely getting better and better and better offensively, as this season goes along. The last 2-3 games, you could see he's definitely getting out of that funk that he was early in the season. And Barrett's, shooting much better. Look at his numbers tonight, shooting wise. You just love to see it. Love to see it off efficiency from the line, from 3, and from the field as well. So in a big game, he gets up against Boston. 27 points. We needed all of them tonight as well. 4 assists, really pleasing to see from RJ Barrett as well. The 4 assists, I love to see him look for his teammates, more and stay head up, look for guys as well. But yeah, it was a big test for RJ. Obviously, minus 14, but a really efficient night. It's hard to know what to make of that. I'll give Broadway Barrett, I'll give him a B tonight. Yeah, so look, the starters had a solid performance overall tonight. Again, a lot of the Boston shooting was them getting hot early and then a lot of poor rotations, wide open shots, and inability to get over the screens tonight. But from this unit, there's no doubt the numbers may not tell the story, but Reddish inserted into that unit, much better defensively on the perimeter. Isaiah at the 5 spot, we're giving up a bit, as well as the rim protection lacking with Mitch out as well. We know Jalen Brunson's not the strongest defender, with that said, but I didn't really think tonight Jalen was, the cause of really bad defense or anything like that. I really feel like Brunson's just inability to get around the screens hurt us at times, but he's not a real defensive liability. He's just not a strong defender with that, but he's definitely trying. With this situation. Salute chat. Appreciate your streets is buzzing. Even after a loss, we up in here, and I smashed that like button. And what did you guys think overall from the starters tonight? Gave out their grades from the starters. Scoring wise, just offensively, the Knicks had it going. Tonight, it's just disappointing defensively. But going up against the best, or one of the best teams in the league, sometimes, they do say better offense beats better defense, beats good defense. Well, but the Knicks didn't even play good defense, tonight. The most pleasing thing moving forward, I guess, from tonight, if I'm to draw the biggest positives, is Cam Reddish taking his opportunities. I will say Jalen Brunson as well. He's got to be up there. And, of course, Derrick Rose. And a solid performance from Randle. But and Derrick Rose starting to look better as we go. Evan Fournier, we'll talk about him and the bench tonight and why, his minutes are cut drastically, and what's that going to mean moving forward. Obviously Quentin Grimes didn't even play tonight, and Fournier still only 11 minutes. So what a drastic turnaround with this situation, fam, ladies and gentlemen. What a drastic turnaround. With that said, Obi, we're going to start with him tonight. Played 20 minutes last night, only 15 minutes tonight. Didn't have the three ball popping tonight. 1 of 5 from 3, and that's why I think he didn't get as many minutes. Cam Reddish was holding it down tonight, but Obi wasn't too bad, wasn't awful. The shot wasn't falling. Had a steal, 5 rebounds tonight, or 6 rebounds, a block as well. Nice block on Grant Williams under the bucket. That had the crowd on their feet. Unfortunately, in his minutes, though, was a minus 22 in just 15 minutes. So they was pouring it on when Obi was on the floor. That's glaring in 15 minutes. Minus 22, 7 points. So that's the main reason why Obi wasn't getting any more minutes, with that situation, right? So let's see. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens, lying ahead, in these next few games coming up. Now that we know Mitch is going to be out, Quentin Grimes probably going to be out for a few games, I would say. Maybe one more game, who knows? But with the small ball look, we didn't get to see it as much as last night. But Obi, just the 3 ball wasn't popping tonight. I'll give Obi a C tonight. So I'm going to give Obi a C. Didn't have it going offensively, and that was pouring it on when Obi was on the floor as well. Jericho, just 3 minutes, which is surprising. Wasn't getting as many minutes as I thought he might, especially with Mitch out. 1 of 1 as well with that situation. Minus 7, 2 points, so incomplete for Jericho. But that's back-to-back games now that Jericho's got minutes with that situation. So defensively, he's better on the perimeter. He's no rim protector, is Jericho. I think that's probably why Tom doesn't lean on Jericho as much right now. But he wasn't great in his couple of minutes as well. He was okay, but not great. Now, D Rose, so incomplete for Sims for a grade. Now, D Rose in just 14 minutes was 4 of 10, 2 of 3 from the 3-point line, 3 rebounds, was a +3, 10 points. So, yeah, in 14 minutes, D Rose doing D Rose things. Again, yep, D Rose doing D Rose things. 10 points, yeah, +3 with that situation. Getting back into a groove now. Probably the highest amount of minutes that D Rose has played in quite a while. Well, frustrating, points of the game when he was pulling up. Again, that was a critical possession as well. I like D Rose shooting the open three. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like those pull-ups as well. I don't like those pull-up situations where D Rose has that rush of blood to his head, right? Spree, I appreciate you, fam. What's good? I'm not putting any link up tonight, but I'll shout out your comments as well. Let us know your thoughts with this situation. Pudge Nice in the house. Salute. Let's get it. Keyshawn, salute. What's good? What's good? Spree says Kevin Cutler doesn't call fouls. Kevin Cutler cheated the Knicks. Quickly, Rose, Hartenstein, and Cam were cheated with no foul calls. Refs missed about 20 calls. There was definitely some tough no calls, fam. I feel you on that. MSG, the Knicks don't really get that home whistle right now. I got to put Julius at the top. Julius has to force contact to actually get a call most of the time, initiate the contact. Just like LeBron, those bigger dudes don't get that. Yeah, they don't get that rub of the green as much as they probably should. Definitely the quickly one was egregious. I just feel like Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, they get away with a lot more. They get away with a lot more contact, and it's tough. It's disgusting. Yep, it's disgusting. Buzzer, IQ got to be our sweet Lou, Jamal off the bench type player as well. Yep, we'll give Quickly his grade tonight, but yeah, inconsistencies again from Quickly. I thought Quickly played great. Yeah, yesterday, last night, tonight, just up and down from quick helter skelter, right? Quickly got fouled. Julius got fouled. Rose got fouled. Hartenstein fouled. Says Spree. Absolutely, yeah. Trust me, man. These tight games, they always favor the other team, the title contender, up in this thing. Damn, yep. Yeah, I was going to bring up the McBride point as well. Yep. In a game like this, Tom obviously doesn't want to go too deep, but I'd love to see McBride get a shot. No doubts about it, Spree. McBride can get around screens, and he fights hard with that situation. I think it's going to take a lot more for Quick, though, to sit down for him to give McBride a chance with that. Yep, D says the same. There was a lot of calls that weren't, a lot of fouls not called tonight. Yet Nick's the only team that can't get calls at home with that. All right, absolutely, yeah. Jet Life, salute. What's good? Appreciate you. Let's get it. As well, chat's buzzing. Smash that like button, ladies and gents, and we're ready to rock out. We're only one game under 500. Well, we're up against the best of the best tonight. Well, we've got to keep that in mind. Offensively, things are starting to click for some of these dudes. I feel like Cam Reddish is going to start to feel more comfortable. Bully Barrett had a slow start, frustrating turning the ball over as well with his 6 turnovers, but he came good towards the end of the game, efficient from the line and efficient from the field as well. The turnovers hurt, no doubt, but I feel like Barrett's getting into a bigger groove with offense as well. But obviously the worry is, RJ's got to be that dude to guard the Tatums, the Browns most nights. But tonight, Cam Reddish really gave him a real helping hand. I feel like Cam Reddish picking up dudes at the top of the key, guarding the point guard. I really like to see that as well, and I felt that really helped the Knicks tonight, helped us stay in the game while Brunson was clicking and carrying the offense with that situation. Yeah, frustrated. Spree's frustrated with RJ. Got to be better at times. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, it's 9 games in. RJ's the trend has been he's started slow with this thing. Best believe he's going to hit that hot streak. He always does. He just started really slow, Spree, this season. I understand. Yeah, we've definitely paid him now, and we expect consistency. Um, that's what I want to see from RJ. I want to see a smaller margin between his best and his worst. I want to see more of like knowing what we can expect from RJ, and I feel like he's getting closer to that offensively. The last few games, the shot's starting to fall. Well, Quickly's of that same boat. You know, it's like Quick has amazing nights, and then tonight and a non-factor with that, a non-factor with that. Yeah, love him or hate him, the Knicks are worse without Randle. Just the facts. Yep. Yeah, definitely. We still need Randle to be a good team. Um, Overall, Randle's been much better this season. Um, Defensively, IQ wise, his defensive effort and IQ's never been great, even on any team, even way before the Knicks. Offensively, he's a big plus for us, like tonight. But yeah, those lapses really hurt us at times. The closing out, he's slow to close out. Jet Life, the starting lineup going forward should be Brunson, Barrett, Reddish, Randle, Mitch. When Mitch gets healthy, yep, I agree. I agree with you with that situation. Let's see more lineups like that, more minutes. Quentin Grimes. I'm of the mindset we should let him heal up. You know, I mean that's the most frustrating thing from tonight for me. Even before the game began, to have Grimes healthy yesterday and then today he can't play again, that's got to be frustrating. You need consistency with that. But I think Cam took his chance again tonight, right? Took his chance. Thoughts on RJ's D? Spree, is he that bad at times? I think the biggest thing RJ struggles with is getting around the screens. When he's out on an island, the 1-to-1, I don't think he's too bad. Um, Obviously, a dude his size and strength should be a really good defender eventually in time. He's big. I think getting around the screens, he struggles. His go-to is to go under the screen most of the time. Brunson struggles getting over the screen as well. That definitely hurt us as well. Like I said with Bully Barrett, I just want to see a smaller margin between his best and his worst. It's just up and down a lot. Um, Offensively, when he's clicking, then he seems to play a lot better defensively as well. Um, but yeah, I feel a lot of Nick fans are going to be a lot more disappointed after a night like tonight, Spree, and chat. But again, you got to put things in perspective. Tonight was up against the Boston Celtics. They made the NBA Finals last season, right? If there's a prototypical NBA roster and team that you're trying to build to contend, we played that roster tonight. Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, some of the best wings in the NBA tonight, up against a flawed roster with the New York Knicks. We scored 118 points. Well, we could still make improvements offensively. There was still a lot of dead possessions, bad shot selection at times. We still put up 118 points as well, and they shot a franchise night as well. So we put all this in perspective. What does it mean? I think the Knicks are going to be all right. Really think the Knicks are going to be all right. For what we're trying to achieve this season, with reality in mind, where we're trying to go. I think the Knicks will make the play-in still, the play-in or the playoffs. There might be some tinkering with the roster, you know, with Fournier maybe now. That's a big talking point moving forward. What do they do with Reddish at the deadline? There's going to be some tinkering, I think, to come. Um, but with that said, I think the Knicks are still going to be a solid 500 team for the rest of this season. Um, I just do really want us to be more consistent and, you know, to play like this tonight offensively up against the best teams. Um, you love to take care of biz at home. Definitely, it hurts to lose in the Mecca. But with that said, like I said, man, I'm not too angry tonight because it's the Boston Celtics. You know, I mean, they strengthened their roster, ladies and gents. They got Malcolm Brogdon off the bench. I mean, we got Emmanuel Quickly. No disrespect to Quick, but we're bringing Emmanuel Quickly, a third-year player, still trying to find their way off the bench. Right, 13 minutes, minus 16, stunk it up, and they're bringing a player that's like a former All-Star. I think Malcolm Brogdon off their bench. You know, a dude that can start on almost any team in the league still as well. So, yeah, looking at that in perspective, man, I think the Knicks gave it their best tonight. They were short of winning this game. You know, obviously the shooting was very frustrating, but it happens in the NBA sometimes. You know, the 3-point shooters are elite on the Boston Celtics. 5-out looks. You know, I tell you what, Marcus Smart is a lot much improved from the 3-point land, especially when you shoot wide open. With that, yep. Spree says I would start Cam moving forward. Let Grimes work his way back in the second unit and bench Evan. Yep, I agree with that. Yeah, I would like to see that moving forward as well, fam. Yep, I think the Quentin Grimes situation could be dicey. You know, we don't want to hurt his foot long term. That would be a disaster, basically. So, what do you guys think, fam? Chat. Would you like to see that unit Spree said as well? Um, you know, I gave out a B for Cam tonight, or a B plus. Held his own in 37 minutes to be a +4, 4 points only, still playing a role. Yeah, Cam Reddish definitely gave us a lot tonight. But yeah, his presence, his length, definitely helped us. Better for what we had, a bigger upgrade, I think, than Evan. And with that said, Trick says Cam missed too much. Well, so yeah, he did miss, yeah, a 1 of 6 as well. Yet offensively, I think he's definitely not what this team really needs in the starting unit. But I think more defensively is where this team may need him. I think with Brunson, Randle, RJ, yeah, those guys are going to be the ones to put up most of the shots as well. I like to see Cam attack the closeout and get his drive to the bucket, drive and finishes. But I sort of cringe when Cam does shoot a 3-point shot. It's a flat shot, definitely. Stanley, salute. What's good? Knicks need to move Fournier for anything they can get. The Lakers are desperate for shooting. Maybe we can work out a trade with them, even just a late second in 27. With that said, yeah, with Fournier, let's talk about that now. Stanley, chat. 11 minutes. I mean, what a change! What a crazy change in 48 hours. Basically, went from the starting man to being removed from the starting lineup. Now playing 11 minutes tonight. Minus 19 in 11 minutes. 2 fouls, 1 steal, an assist, and a rebound, and 3 points for Evan Fournier tonight. He's definitely going to get a C minus, a D plus, C minus. Obviously, I think mentally it's going to be a huge adjustment for him. There's been a lot of talk on Twitter and that he looks checked out. He knows he's done. His future with this team's up in the air. It's got to be tough mentally, I think, for a player. you're the starting player, and then all of a sudden you're now, in a really short period of time, you're really questioning your role on the team. Now, I sort of put some blame on Tom Thibodeau as well, because this should have been a more gradual thing. I don't know why or how it's happened so fast. You know, you could have done this towards the end of last season and limited Evan's role. But look, it is what it is. Here's where we're at. I think the team's goal was to start Cam Reddish or Quentin Grimes, early in the season, and I just think the Grimes injury made things tricky. Evan got the chance. Evan hasn't really lived up to that opportunity, so far. So he's found himself on the bench now, and I don't see Evan getting back in the starting unit unless there's a bigger injury with that situation. Tariq would like to see Svi Mikhailuk in front of Cam. Looks like a shot maker, and we got too many shot takers with that. Yeah, I'm high on Svi as well. He's definitely a guy worthy of minutes as well. I don't know about starting in front of Cam, but Cam will get a few more chances, I think, fam. Mikhailuk, I'd like to see him get a chance, because he can definitely hit shots with that. And we need consistency. We need shot makers as well. There was a concern with the other game, when they went zone, the collapse against ATL. When they went zone, we definitely need zone busters out there as well. And we'll talk about Quickly's performance tonight, because again, it's frustrating for me for Quick, because his inconsistency is tough. He can be the Knicks' best player, and then on a night like tonight, he can be one of the worst. 13 minutes, minus 16, 4 points. Tonight, missed both of his threes, and missed. It was two of 6 was it from the field. So yeah, Quick didn't have it going, but D Rose did. Well, so it's interesting. A lot of those two guys played well together, both of them, last few years. Tonight, only one of them played well. Derrick Rose getting back into a groove. I got to give Quick, you got to give him a D tonight. Basically, just no impact on the game. Now, coincidentally, I will say this: Malcolm Brogdon and the bench unit of the Boston Celtics is better than most teams' benches. So, did that play a factor? Emmanuel Quickly is usually good or better than a lot of teams' benches, but tonight, Malcolm Brogdon, the Celtics bench, can lock up. Malcolm Brogdon, one of the best perimeter defenders in the league at the point guard spot, and 6'5", his size, length can make it difficult. With that, I think Quick's limitations right now, where it sits for me, is he doesn't really have a crossover or a go-to move. He doesn't have a great handle. His fadeaway or pull-up mid-range isn't there yet either as well. That scoop layup that he tries isn't always effective either. The floater is good. The pull-up three is good. But I think Quick's got to, if Quick's going to have a real great career in this league, he's got to round out his game more. Well, he's got to find himself a mid-range. He can't just rely on the floater as well. He's got to tighten his handle. The crossover, he's got to find a handle, a go-to move. He lacks that ability to get separation and that burst. And if he doesn't get the foul call, then it's tough. Like Spree was saying tonight, he did get fouled, but if he doesn't get the foul call, it looks ugly. Sometimes, because he just, clambers into the defender hoping to get the call because he can't get separation. So yeah, again, Quick and RJ, they're two dudes on this team where their best and their worst is so different. Even on a night where Randle has folly, he still can carry the team offensively and have his moments. But it just seems like a bad and good Barrett and Quickly performance is like helter-skelter, Jekyll and Hyde kind of situation as well. So yeah, Quick in his third year, him and Toppin, I feel like Obi's performances are becoming more consistent than Quickly's. For me, at this stage of his career with the talent he got, Quickly picking up D's. Like tonight, I give him a D. It's too inconsistent, man. He shouldn't be picking up D's. Quickly, we need him tonight. But a positive tonight was Derrick Rose. We'll give out D Rose a grade in 14 minutes. I think I gave D Rose a solid B tonight for D Rose. It's good to see him healthy. It's good to see his minutes down as well. That's been a big surprise this season. 4 of 10, 2 of 3 from the 3-point land was a plus. I mean, a +3 in 10 minutes in his 14 minutes. He did his job. He definitely helped this team keep it up. Tariq says they need to run plays for IQ. Enough with his point guard experiment. With that, yeah, it's tough. I think we need to run plays in general. That's a good point. I think there's too much just standing around, fam, on the offensive end. Dudes call for the screen, but then the screen comes and it's like nothing comes of it. You know what I mean? It's like the dude brings his man over and it just clogs things up even more. I guess we're really seeing Quick with a really good sample size, and a lot of people saying, like Jet Life says, he's just not it. In terms of some parts of his game, like dribble, separation, you either have it or you don't. And Quick just doesn't have that burst to be able to blow by a defender and stuff. And like I said, it's usually a floater in traffic or it's a scoop layup. It's an out of control running scoop layup that misses or banks in as well. So yeah, I know Quickly's a workaholic, so I'm not really worried about his ability to improve. I just want to see him work on new things. Like for the last 2 seasons, we know what Quick needed to work on, and that was the mid range. I'm not really seeing him with any mid range pull up. He's too scared to take it right now. It's either a 3-point shot or it's a scoop layup or floater as well. So yeah, I want to see Quick work on more of these things, man. Tighten his handles as well. Yeah. Obi had the biggest block of the game, and 2 steals. Yep. May 4th, I'm not sending no picks out with any trade. So you're cool with just sitting tight and letting things play out. Yeah. I like that from the perspective of the Knicks don't need to seem desperate. We got 3 picks of our own potentially this draft. If we suck and we stink it up, it ain't the worst thing in the world, fam. Well, I know everyone got certain expectations this season. We want to make the play-in or the playoffs and win some games and look good and all of that. We don't really need to worry about adding picks to get rid of contracts right yet. If we bad this season, we end up in the lottery again, and that's a positive. That's a real positive. The Evan Fournier contract only got 1 more year. The Derrick Rose contract's going to come off the books. It's really the Randle situation is all you could really look at from that perspective as well. With Fournier, you could just sit him on the bench for 1 more year. I don't think that's the worst thing as well. You could free up minutes for RJ, Cam, Grimes if you wanted to. All you got to do is just sit Evan. And I know it ain't a good look, 17, 18 mil, but you can do it, You could still use him in a pinch and all of that situation, fam. So, yeah, we out here buzzing. Appreciate you. Smash that like button. Bricks Nation in the house. Salute. Let's get it. Now, I'm going to bring up the graphic with the games coming up, fam. So, with that said, let me bring that up. We got some games coming up, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts on this situation, right? So the Knicks are 1 game below 500 now. Well, so we play the Boston Celtics tonight. We know what it is. They rain threes on us. There were some concerns with rotations, but a good night offensively. But we've got to put this loss in the rearview mirror now because things could spiral. So there you see the opponents coming up. We're at Minnesota, at Brooklyn, next two, then 2 games back home against Detroit and OKC. So you got to beat those. You got to take care of those two at home, Detroit and OKC, right? So maybe you split, Minnesota and Brooklyn. You got to be happy splitting those, I guess. Win one of them. Obviously, we love to beat Brooklyn. With all their dysfunction going down, that would be lit to sink the boot into Brooklyn. At MSG Light, when we hit the Barclays Center and it's 75%, 80% Knicks as well, we get the chance going as well. That'd be nice. Hopefully, we could beat both of them. But mini Brooklyn, let's get it out there. Everyone that's in that building. And then we beat Detroit and OKC, hopefully. We've beaten Detroit already, but OKC is going to be tricky. SGA is on a tear at the moment. He's lighting it up as well. He's going to come into the garden like he normally does, man, with his Canadian bro, RJ. He's going to want to show out as well. So that's going to be crazy. But then we hit our first tough, was it 5-game West Coast trip, fam, which was a opening night, was a national game at Utah, but that's been changed now. So Utah lighting it up. That's going to be crazy. Then Denver, the Knicks have a really bad record in Denver. Jokic, Jamal Murray, that's going to be interesting. Golden State. Now, we know Golden State's going through some troubles right now with the youth and the vets. They're going through a transition right now. Is Golden State and Steph Curry. They're 3-7, so they're struggling. But then the Phoenix Suns, Phoenix are looking nice at the moment. They're handling their biz, so that's going to be tough. And then we play at OKC again, where Sam Presti's going to be there with all of his picks and his rookies as well at Oklahoma. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking at this schedule after the Knicks are now 4-5, 1 game below 500. Some tough games. I will say, I don't look at this schedule and think that the Knicks are going to be screwed at the end of it. I still have some optimism. Best case scenario, let's go through. Like I said, best case scenario, we beat Brooklyn, and then we beat Detroit, OKC, and then best case scenario for the West Coast trip is that we probably beat Utah and OKC. Well, I can't see us beating Denver, Golden State, or Phoenix. Well, so what's that? That's 500 basically out of this stretch as well. So how many wins? You got Brooklyn, Detroit, Oklahoma, Utah, and then Oklahoma again as well. Yep. So out of these 9 games, yep, we pick up 5. We pick up 5 wins. 5 wins in these 9 games as well. That'll have us back to 500, basically, as well. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on that, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, so yeah, we're in this situation. Yeah, like Stanley says, right? It's a tough road trip. We could be looking at a situation where we're 5 out of the 9 games, but we have to definitely beat Brooklyn, Detroit, and OKC at MSG. You got to win both of them. You just got to. Utah is still going to be very tough as well. This is best case scenario. I can't really see the Knicks doing any better as well. As optimistic as I'm trying to be, the Knicks escape with 5 wins out of these 9. That's the best case scenario. But yeah, there definitely could be some surprises. But I think the Knicks should still be able to take it to Utah, and OKC in OKC as well. If we can steal one against Golden State or Phoenix, I mean that would be crazy as well. yeah, not overreacting to tonight, I will still say this. I think the Knicks are still a true, real 500 team. Um, I don't think we're going to be a team that's 6, 7, 8, 9 games below 500. I think our roster is still too good for that. Yes, there's shortcomings. We got to clean things up defensively. We definitely got to um, pray for health. Get Mitch back, get Grimes, get healthy. Um, with that said, I do feel like the Knicks are a real 500 team, but they're going to have to show us, this is a real test, coming up. Um, Especially now, 1 game below 500. If we lose to Mini, we lose to Brooklyn, then it's 3 games below 500. And then there's 2 must-win games coming up. So, um, why am I still pretty optimistic? Well, Jalen Brunson is a big reason for that. Brunson showed us tonight that when the offense goes stale or stagnant, he can be that go-to guy. The Knicks haven't really had that for a minute. It used to be Derrick Rose, or it used to be Randle or RJ if they were on or they were off. Who knew? But Brunson's been consistent. You know consistently you can rely on him. You can rely on him. Tonight, Boston shot their franchise shooting record as well. It's going to happen sometimes as well. I don't see Minnesota, I don't see Brooklyn shooting the same amount percentage that we saw tonight as well. So, what is missing though? What do I want to see the Knicks clean up? I want to see them play tighter on the defensive end. You've got to be tighter in your rotations, getting up in dudes' grill, play grittiness, play tough. Well, this one thing I liked about that team 2 years ago was the toughness as well. We just played harder, intensity, toughness as well. I don't know if the Tom Thibodeau early effect was there or whether or not that's rubbed off, but this team's not playing tougher than as what they should be. I feel like, you've got dudes coming in feeling good about themselves, and that can't be happening. You know, that cannot be happening. It's a situation where the other team that comes into MSG needs to know that, okay, if we're going to win this game tonight, we're going to escape with bumps and bruises and some injuries. Not trying to injure anybody purposely, but I just feel like our presence is not there in terms of making things difficult for the other teams. But our offense is a lot better this year. So the offense is going to be things where on nights it's going to win us ball games. There's been nights where not everything is clicked and we're still in the game. So just imagine when things really start to click for everybody. Everybody has it going as well. With Mitch out for a bit of a stretch, it's going to be really interesting to see Isaiah Hartenstein's impact on this team's offense. Tonight, 118 points against a solid Boston defense was encouraging as well. A different look, having floor spacing, having ability to push the ball around as well. I thought Randle had more space tonight. RJ was able to get the drives and get separation as well. So was Brunson, tonight. Also some encouraging things, right? Rashad Salute, without Mitch and with Tibbs perimeter D, all clubs know how to beat the Knicks easily because they all stay in the paint and retreat to the perimeter late. So knock down threes. Yeah, that is a true concern, definitely with this situation, right? I feel like a healthy Grimes and a Reddish help that a lot more. But unfortunately, Mitch and Randle are slow to rotate. Isaiah Hartenstein, pretty slow foot as well to rotate. So that's going to be something to really watch continue moving forward. For this team, because giving up 133 points tonight on record franchise shooting, that just cannot happen often. Otherwise, this team's just gonna fall further below 500. So yeah, the tail of the tape is that the Knicks were a step slow, but encouraging signs offensively. We haven't really quite seen Derrick Rose explode, but tonight he definitely got back to to more of what we can expect for Derrick Rose. It was just bad. It was unfortunate that Obi and Quickly were down tonight, but Brunson, RJ, and Randle, held their own for this ball club. So for that situation, it is what it is. We played a title contender as well, so we can't expect to win these games. Yes, it would have been nice to pull it out, but this schedule that you see ahead of you right now, these are the games that I'm saying you should expect to try to win. You know, try to beat a mini Brooklyn, Detroit, OKC. You got to beat, and then you got to try to beat Utah and OKC at home, away. Sorry, and then you're looking better. You got the West Coast trip out the way. You're still at 500 ish. Hopefully your team's healthy. You're gelling more, and then we can maybe get on a run, or we could get on a stretch of consistency with this thing. So that's what I'm looking for in these next 9 games. Well, um, we got to have this roster become more consistent with their effort. Well, and offensively, it's like dudes have great nights and then the other dudes go missing. The amount of times every single game there's been 2, 3, 4 players go missing. Well, it's just like the best and the worst is too far apart, with this team. And like I said, the grittiness, the toughness, and letting teams know that we're there is just not there for me. I'm not seeing a Tom Thibodeau type identity team, right? Talk about those older Bulls teams and the other teams that he had, the early Knicks team. It's like the intensity was on point. Even if we were a step slow rotating, it was toughness, it was grittiness, and all of that, right? So yeah, we need an enforcer as well. I think that's what we're missing. Dirty says, I think Tibbs hasn't realised that most of the league wants to shoot at least 23s a night, yeah, and loves when we clog the paint. Yeah, the league's changed before our eyes for him. Definitely. Dudes don't need an excuse to get it off, right? Kaiser says, I think we need a new head coach. Yeah. Where there's definitely going to be more talk about that all season long, fam. I think Tibbs has opened the door a little bit for more forgiveness, maybe with some changes to the rotation. But I think after this season, there's a good chance that he's not the head coach by after the season, maybe some point during the season, if losses start to pile up as well. Jalen Brunson here, I think, like I said, is going to help us win a lot of ball games still, and I still think we're going to hover around 500 as well. But I think if losses pile up, definitely Tibbs could be let go in season. But I think it's more likely to be end of season kind of thing. So, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see how he handles this, fam, with these pieces, rotations, all of that stuff, right? Vaughn, salute. Appreciate you. The chat's buzzing out here after a loss, as frustrating it was. Smash that like button, and we'll be back after the mini Brooklyn games. The Knicks only on one game under 500. Well, they've got lots to clean up as well. But disappointing that we saw a similar folly that we're used to seeing as well with open shots, Swiss cheese D tonight. We've got to clean that up. We've got to be tougher. We've got to be cleaning that up. Well, be ready to rotate as well. When a dude runs out, be prepared that they're going to swing the ball, and then the other guy's got to be ready to close out with that. But again, like I said, not a disaster tonight because the Boston Celtics, in my eyes, had to shoot a franchise shooting record to beat the Knicks the way they did. The Knicks were hanging tough, 3-4 minutes to go. We're still in the game as well. So that says a lot, I think, of how far we've come tonight. The Knicks haven't really struggled in like the whole game this season. They've been in pretty much every game, like Tariq pointed out earlier, the chat. The Memphis loss, we were there, right there. The Cavs loss, we were right there. The ATL loss, we were up by 23. Tonight, we were against the very best in the league. we were right there as well. So we've got to clean things up, but we just got to get better overall, offensively, defensively. And as the season gets along, I think we will get better, no doubt. I think we'll finish the season much stronger than we've started, and we will get on a run at some point. Well, health permitting, you get these rotations right. I think we're definitely onto something with Evan Fournier's minutes, being reduced. With Evan Fournier's minutes reduced, I mean, the writing is on the wall with that situation. 11 minutes tonight, like I said, what a crazy turn of events in just such a small period of time. I mean, to go from starting to 11 minutes tonight, there's going to be a lot to unpack with this. I salute my man, Ron Cleveland in the house with that situation. Ron, appreciate you. What's good, fam? How do you see these next 9 games coming up, Ron? As we chopped up, I said best case scenario, 5 out of these next 9, the Knicks might be able to pull out. Maybe one against Brooklyn, Detroit, OKC at home, you got to win. Maybe you beat Utah and OKC away on the road trip with that situation. But yeah, the Knicks, I still feel, are a true 500 team. It's frustrating because people want to be better than that. They want to see some changes. But I think what we're looking at right now, going into the deadline and going into further into this season, we're still figuring things out as an organization. Cam Reddish, contract situation, quickly, contract situation soon. Obi, they're only just thinking about what they're doing with Obi, contract situation. I mean, Randle's tied up now, but there's still a cloud over his future as well. Yep, Ron's on point as well, same as me. Or one less, 4 and 5. Okay, that wouldn't be the worst thing for the Knicks because we would be 2 games below 500, and we have the West Coast trip out of the way. But certainly, there's a lot of things to clean up because there's going to be a lot of East Coast games that are still tough. When we play the Miamis, we play the other teams like Toronto. When we have to play these other teams out east, we've obviously got the Cleveland game out of the way. We'll have Brooklyn out of the way once, Boston out of the way. But yeah, the Torontos, the Miamis, there's a Washington. There's a lot of teams to come in the East as well. So even though we get this West Coast trip out of the way, there's still a lot of challenges, man, for this team. J-Dub, salute. We do not have the horses to win in this league. We're certainly facing an uphill battle on most nights, trying to overcome talent deficiencies, But I feel like there is a pathway for this team to compete on any given night with our rotations. It starts and ends with that, and I think they're on their way. Obi's minutes got to increase. Fournier's minutes got to decrease. Yeah, with that. Tibbs got to be on the first thing smoking. Ron, yeah, I think that's going to become something that's a bigger reality if the losses pile up soon. Definitely. Not preying on this team's downfall, but if I'm a betting man, I do say right this moment, Tom Thibodeau's not the coach opening night next season. Whether it happens in season remains to be seen. Whether this squad sticks by him and toughs it out. I do think Jalen Brunson being in here allows the Knicks to win too many games to be deep in the lottery. If we don't have a Jalen Brunson, I think we could find ourselves with a top 10 pick this season. But with Jalen Brunson, I don't know if we're going to be that deep in the lottery. I think, salute Ron, John, appreciate you. I think worst case scenario, the Knicks win 37 games. I just can't see the Knicks winning any less than 37 games still. I still think we got the horses to be about a 500 team as well, and better if we make some moves, some adjustments, right? Yeah. Tariq, give me one of the Spurs coaches. Yeah. Something different, forward thinking, offensively. Um, and I'll ask you, chat. I'm not saying I would want this, but there's some people saying they would prefer Mike D'Antoni over Tom Thibodeau. If you ain't going to be good defensively, would you not want to see a better offense? See a Rolls Royce offense um, with that situation, right? Would you guys prefer Tibbs or Mike D'Antoni? Um, Me personally, I would prefer a Kenny Atkinson kind of guy. Kenny Atkinson kind of dude, at least, gives us a bit of everything, youth development. There's Johnny Bryant still. Um, J Dub, stop winning stupid games. That doesn't land us a lottery pick. Um, that's the biggest talking point, I guess, with the future of this organization. Which direction are we headed? Brunson helps us a lot. Like I said, he's going to help us win at least 37 games. That's another mid pick. That's another mid pick with that situation. So, yeah, they've got to consider which direction they really prefer to go in as well. There was a great video from Brian Windhorst, ESPN YouTube, talking about this trade deadline is going to be one of the most unique trade deadlines in the history of the NBA. There's going to be contenders thinking they've got a chance, and they're going to go all hell for leather and stack up the chips. And then they're going to be half the league try to sell off all their pieces in an arms race to go the other way for a Victor Wembanyama who's shooting fadeaway threes on one leg. Now, a 7'4" guy shooting off one leg, shooting threes now. I mean, this trade deadline is going to be completely popping. And a lot of teams like the Lakers, Memphis, all these teams are going to try to put pieces together, I think, to contend. Denver, who knows, out east as well, the Miami Heat, all of these teams. I won't say teams wouldn't want Julius Randle as well. I've seen wackier things before in my lifetime. Like I said, some teams are going to be desperate. Losing creates desperation. The Lakers, maybe the Heat feel like they're a piece away. Jimmy Butler's getting older. I don't think Philly are looking as good as I thought they would be. Look at Joel Embiid's health. Look at James Harden. That's going to be an up and down situation with the Heat as well. They're getting older. The Heat are looking to make a splash. They got Duncan Robinson and some pieces that they would love to trade as well. So Washington stuck in no man's land as well with Bradley Beal. Do they have the horses to contend? Right? Yeah. Mike No D'Antoni. Yeah, facts. Yeah. Dirty says we don't have the roster to work with D'Antoni. Don't want to try that again. Yeah. Yeah, I'm certainly not on the D'Antoni train, but I have heard a lot of fans, I guess, that are really on the other end of Tom Thibodeau. They want to see him out the door immediately. Would prefer a D'Antoni kind of dude. And I don't blame all of this on Tibbs at all. I think this roster is still got flaws. It really does. That's just reality. But as an organization, you can put edicts on the coach to play certain guys to help us move forward as a team. Whether you want to win, scrap out wins, there's a better lineup you could play to help you win. If you want to see what you got in the young players, there's a rotation to be had for that as well. I'm cool with it, whatever direction. We just got to pick the right direction with this team. So far, they're still shooting for the play-in right now. It's still early, one game below 500, but best believe that 20-game mark, like we said tonight, these 9 games that you see ahead of you, ladies and gentlemen, that would bring us to the 18-game mark as well. 18 games in, still a long season, but the Knicks would have to be around that 500 situation, right? Like J Dub says, the Victor and the Scoot game is a business you want to get into, right? If you're trying to improve. True difference making talents. Absolutely. I mean, imagine the draft night party this season, man, this year. Whichever team gets Victor Wembanyama, you're going to see a parade kind of the likes of when New Orleans got Zion, right? You're going to see draft parties like nothing else. Um, whichever team lands one or two, it's going to be popping with that. Um, yeah, the Randle situation, I guess the talent ain't so bad. The years maybe are the biggest things with Randle. It is a below market deal. Um, I feel like the Knicks could definitely get off of Randle if they wanted to include a pick. I think that's what it comes down to. Would they give up a pick? Yep. Shoot more threes against the Knicks because Tibbs' philosophy is to protect the paint. Yep. Yeah, just keep shooting, especially if you're a good shooting team, against these Knicks. Um, but yeah, I really feel like we're a true 500 team. We're sort of in the middle of nowhere right now. Um, I really feel like the Knicks will be about 40 wins, 45 between there, 45 at most. Um, but obviously that can change with moves. It's going to be crazy draft deadline this season. The Knicks could have Washington's pick. Dallas looks like Dallas will make the playoffs. Looks like we'll have Dallas's pick, first round pick as well. And then our own pick, whether that's around the 10 to 15 pick as well. So there's a real possibility the Knicks will have 3 picks in the teens this year. Now that's probably enough to get you up in the order. How high, I don't know. But if the Knicks do end up with 3 picks, we could definitely make some big moves. With that said, and with that said, the season's still a long way to go, still buzzing as well, ladies and gentlemen. Smack that like button, and we'll be here rocking out with a win or lose. But tonight we took a L at MSG, a franchise shooting night for the Boston Celtics as well. It was frustrating to see it rain threes. But it's going to happen. We've been watching this team for a minute, and it ain't like we haven't seen a team come into the building and throw a party. It's like we're good for a game like this every year, basically, where Doogie Howser, MD, comes into the building and lights it up as well. It's a movie that we've seen for a minute now. Um, the most frustrating thing for me is the inconsistency with this team. So many players on the team's best and worst are too far apart. With that, players that do go missing, well, uh, ultimately, I'm not a fan of Tom Thibodeau's offense. I do feel like it's just too much freestyling. I would like a structured offense a lot more. You could tell players don't feel comfortable because they don't know when the shot's coming. It's read and react, I guess. So they don't know whether they're just going to be in the corner for 5 possessions in a row, or whether to come to set the screen or not. As well, Brunson's helped things a lot, but there's still no structure with this situation, right? Mitchell Robinson, injured again. Quentin Grimes still injured. So a lot of question marks for us to put together our best unit on the floor still as well. Yep. Like Ron says, the margin for error is slim. You can't give up that many threes and turn the ball over and expect to win at all, right? Even against elite talent like tonight. Yeah, and we had a crazy offensive night, I would say, as well, to keep up and score 118 tonight as well. The margin for error is super low, with that said. But yeah, we'll continue to evaluate this after, 15, 20 games. There's more of a trend. Right now, it's still early. In terms of the season, 9 games in, the Knicks are still around 500. And I think what we'll continue to see this season is the Knicks beat down these teams that they should beat down, but then fall short against these teams like the Clevelands, Atlantas, Boston's as well. What's going to happen in terms of the Washingtons, the Miamis, and those kind of teams, the Charlottes, remains to be seen. Especially the West Coast teams. That's going to be tough. I mean, even Sacramento, the Sacramento Kings look like a tough team out west to beat. Um, I don't think there's one easy beat team out west. I mean, even the Oklahoma Thunder are a team that got talent. Shea Gilgeous, dudes can go off any night, but it's the East that I think the Knicks have a few more wins in them with that situation, right? Sherwin, the streets are buzzing. Are you a fan of the Golden State or Denver offense? Well, I'm more of a fan of the Denver offense, to be honest with you. I love the movement of Golden State, but I love Denver playing through, in and out with the big man as well. I think Golden State's just very reliant on guard play as well. Whereas Denver can operate through the big man or the guard spots as well. They got a lot of flexibility with that situation. Especially you see the shot clock going down and the ball's in Jokic's hands. He can produce a great shot still as well. Kaiser, the worst thing this team keeps doing is not selling to get 2-5 picks. Yep. Is not tanking. Yet once it's clear when we're going to be bad with that situation. I do feel this season feels a little different. Not saying there's no edict on Tom yet, but I feel like this front office is in their third year, and I think there's a lot more pressure than what people are saying. I think it goes beyond firing Tom Thibodeau. I think there's so much unrest in the front office between Leon, Worldwide West, Brock Aller, Scott Perry. There's so many voices. Gerson, Rowe, Sass. There's a lot of voices, and I think this front office could implode as well. It ain't even just about Tom Thibodeau's future with this thing. So with that said, I think the fact that this front office doesn't really know how secure they are, I really think like they're ready to put the kibosh quicker than years past. Kaiser, chat. I really feel like if the Knicks do get below 5, 6, 7 games under 500, there could be more edicts to come than years past. And Tom Thibodeau's in his third year. I just struggle to think that he would have the same leash as he would in the years past, because we're through this road now, and there's no going back with that. Ron says the Knicks are not a good 3-point shooting team. Yet tonight we shot 40%, but for most of the season we've been around 20 with that situation. Yep. A lot of our looks are relying on Brunson, his penetration. Brunson getting to the cup and kicking it out, getting the ball moving. I think that's key. Once Obi's 3-point shooting gets on the scouting report a bit more and teams start closing Obi out, that's going to be interesting to see whether or not he can still get that shot off as well. Right now, Obi's shooting great from 3, but he's being left wide open for most of that part. And of course, Julius Randle is a big barometer of this thing, right? He shot well tonight, but he's not shooting the level that he did, 2 years ago. That's for sure. Yep. I don't even know what read and react is, but if we're doing it, it must suck, right? It's basically, make the play, let the defense dictate what your play is, but it's similar to the triangle, not in terms of motion or movement, but in terms of like the triangle, it requires players to make the right decisions. So it's not a given. if you're trying to play ball and you're still trying to react to what the defense is giving you, your mind is in two different places at once. Um, if you don't have smart players, you can't always make the right read as well. And also, good defensive teams can just shut you down. Well, that's why you need structure. If you notice, the Knicks end up with 8, 6, 7 seconds on the clock, and it's like we're running a second action. You know, the defense has already shut down the first action, and we're stuck with that situation, right? Yep. Part of that could be, yeah, Tom's on the hot seat and he knows it, and part of the reason why we've seen changes so early. I mean, that's another reason why I said what I said. The first 2 years, Tom Thibodeau took 40 games even to make any change. Right now, it's been a few games in, and we've seen big changes. So either it's coming from the front office or Tom knows that he's got to move swiftly, I think. Yep. Kaiser says, so you fire him. Yep, we got to do what's best for the franchise, what's good for the fans. I think the fans have been very patient with losing and not getting a top pick with that. I think we are going to get to the point, and we're on the 50-year anniversary of our last championship, and I'm not saying there's going to be no protests or nothing, but we've got to get to that point where if the Knicks aren't moving forward with the winning solution, then it's definitely going to be where most fans are on board with blowing it up. That the Knicks are too concerned with scoring points in the paint, yet when the rest of the league shooting threes. Yet wait to see a 4-point line come maybe eventually. If Adam Silver's still here 5 to 10 years, we might see a 4-point line with that situation. Yeah, the league's evolving, even more. Yeah, a la the play-in, and of course we're yet to see the mid-season tourney. Fam, ladies and gentlemen, who knows what's going to happen with that? What prize is going to be on offer, what the rules and regulations are. But it looks like next season, at the earliest, I think there's going to be a mid-season tournament. There's got to be some prize up for grabs. There's got to be something to make that worthwhile as well. So that's going to be popping, and I do feel like they're going to try to address this tanking thing. This tanking thing. Adam Silver's given out a warning. I don't know how effective it's going to be with Victor shooting 3-point shots off one leg. Scoot Henderson, crazy draft. I think there's going to be tanking to all types of levels. And with that, what's he going to do? Find 10 teams? 15, 13 teams are going to go all in on this thing, right? Yeah, I mean, this team's a lot more watchable offensively with Jalen Brunson. The issue is like, I guess, how much does he move the needle forward for this team, this organization? I was on board with the Brunson thing because he was 26 years old. There's still ways to go. There's still years to figure this thing out. But everything will resolve itself basically this season as we continue to go along on this crazy season and we pick up wins and losses. I guess the future and the direction is going to become more clear for this thing. But yeah, it's been very interesting these last 2 games. We've seen big changes. We're seeing injuries now. Dudes are going to continue to get opportunity. Well, how does Tom play this situation, going forward, right? Man, as Ron says, man, the last time we won was the year Ron was born in 73, man. It was 10 years before I was born, right, with that situation, man. Yeah, definitely hits home for all of us. And we're still passionate, still loyal, still rocking this orange and blue hard. But it's been 50 years since the Knicks lifted that trophy, and it wasn't even the same trophy. There wasn't even a 3-point line. There was different rules, but it was crazy. It's been that long. I think we definitely got close. Obviously, the Houston heartbreaking loss The Knicks definitely should have won a title in '90s without MJ. Um, Early 2000s, we made some horrible decisions. We were in the right direction, made some bad decisions. But it's tough, man. It's a stars league. You look at the LeBrons, the Giannis's, the Stephs. I mean, and this puts it in perspective, right? Look at Philly. Look at how Phillies fans feel. They've got a game changing talent in Joel Embiid, right? They had a talent in Ben Simmons, and they have a game changing talent in James Harden. Yet they still might fall short. They fell short against Kawhi. They have game changing talent, and they still might fall short. So that's how difficult it is to win in the NBA. I mean, Denver, you got the reigning MVP, Jokic, you got Jamal Murray injured. They might not even get close. They might not even make the Western Conference Finals. You know, you got Booker and CP3. They fell short. I mean, there's so many good teams that still can't get over that hump. And the Knicks are in a situation where we're not even close. We're not even close to even sniff that and get towards contention and beat these teams. But it's fascinating, and I do like to see the blueprint from some of these teams. As much as I hate them with every fiber of my being. I respect Boston now, the way they've built their squad. I mean, it's hard to see tonight and not admire their ability to put pieces in place. Brogdon off the bench, Tatum and Brown. This prototypical shooting league. Mobile bigs that can shoot. Wings, Derek White, role players. They got everything in place. They had a good coach that's the president now, Marcus Smart, that is bleeds green, and is just a do it all kind of guy like Draymond Green for Golden State. Also, the way Boston built their team real quick was smart. That was real smart with that situation, right? Uh, if I was in charge, I'd stop signing these old has-beens, trade all the vets, and go all youth like Orlando, Houston, OKC. Yeah, a lot of fans have been crying for that. It's just tricky, in New York City. This is a different market. It's unlike any other market. The ownership doesn't want to do that. Fans might be happy for that. I think if the Knicks were open to do that, they would have done that already. And I can't predict the future. I don't have no crystal ball. But if the Knicks do win a championship in my lifetime, I would say I would be more likely to bet on that the Knicks land an established star through free agency or trade versus the draft. I just don't see in a James Dolan run era, I do not see the Knicks franchise dipping into the lottery like that, like those Orlando's, Houston's, OKC's. I think it's more on the likeliness that we trade everything. um, we sign a big name. Maybe eventually Zion or a big name chooses the Knicks. But again, you can't bank on that. Sherwin was 5 years old when the Knicks won in '73. I can't even remember. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. Yeah. It's time for a major shake-up, this roster as well. You can't be in purgatory if most of your team is young, mostly under 25, that situation. We definitely got to be promoting those younger dudes soon, as much as possible, I feel. Salute JJ, what's good? We need to bottom out, get high-end talent. I'd start over if I was running things. I think this front office saving grace in terms of the position they got this team in is that we can be bad real quick, and we could be better real quick. We got the draft picks, but do you trust them? It's all about making the right decision from here on out. With the salaries we got, the picks coming up, what do we do with all of them? It remains to be seen. but I think the Knicks are still in a position where we can make moves real quick in this league, right? Some movable, expiring contracts and a lot of draft picks as well that we've yet to use. See, a lot of people may clown the Knicks for not doing the Donovan trade, and you might love Donovan Mitchell, you might miss that he's not a New York Knick, but we still have our currency. We haven't spent that yet. The trade that we could have made for Donovan, we still have all those pieces with RJ, Obi, Quickly, Grimes, and picks till 2029. So the Knicks can make that move if and when it becomes available now. It might become a lot harder with the New York tax. Well, but I feel like this front office is definitely going to go down swinging. If and when this next deal becomes available, I think maybe missing out on Donovan makes them a little bit more desperate. Maybe maybe more likely to give up all of a bit more of these picks as well, because I think they want to go out with a splash. With that situation, right? So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap this baby up. And the chat's been buzzing. Well, smash that like button. And we here, no matter what, ride or die with these New York Knicks as well. It's New York or nowhere. We've got to see a championship in our lifetime. Well, I mean, this word patience gets mentioned so often, but we are the most patient fan base because it's been this long and we're still watching games. We're still waiting. People frustrated, all of that. Truth is, we've had worse regimes. I mean, there was regimes blow up the Knicks' future right now. I mean, if we're in purgatory, like I said, it's a quicker way out. The Knicks have flexibility. They got draft picks and all of that jazz. They just got to make the right move, the right swing. When the time comes, what's their plan? That's what's got me on edge. Is whether or not Dolan's talking to Leon or Leon's talking to someone else. What's his plan? What's next for this thing beyond this season? Or during this season, we got to see. One thing though that we do see every year is that stars become available. Losing happens, and people want to get out. They want to get out of their situation. Look at the Lakers. There's only going to be one team to hoist the Larry O'Brien, and everyone else is going to try to go the other way for the draft. Victor as well. One of the most crazy draft classes in our lifetime that we're going to witness. Right? That's no hyperbole. This draft class is going to be straight Popman as well. It's going to be ride or die with that, man. It's going to be crazy in this league. Brooklyn, you could basically blow up their title hopes. That's not happening now with that disharmony. The James Harden, Philly, Embiid situation is on edge, if you ask me. The door is going to open up for a lot of different teams this season, right? It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see. But LaMelo could be next. Our scout says Dirty as well. Yep. The lure of New York, a bigger market, I feel like, with that situation. With that said, Miles Bridges seems to be cleared of jail time, but he's without a team. So who's going to snap him up? Teams are coming up fast. Paolo Banchero looks legit. Orlando are going to be good sooner than later. Detroit are going to be better soon in the coming years to come as well, right? This league's going to be turning over a new leaf. We see Golden State becoming older now. LeBron, the Lakers look like their time's passed as well. Phoenix look real good. Maybe this is the Phoenix year to get ahead with that situation. But yeah, we'll see you after the mini game. Well, keep it lit, keep it popping. The streets is buzzing as well. Everyone have a great sleep. Good night. Blessings to everybody. Knicks Nation. And we out. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.